Welcome back to the workbench. It's Saturday, so you know it's time for a new video. And today I'm working on this AMT 1994 Ford Lightning pickup. I bought this last summer on clearance at Walmart, and it's just been laying around here collecting dust while I've been going through my General Motors phase. And I decided, well, it's time to switch things up. Let's do this Ford. And I've been dying to get to it and just haven't. Well, first off, let's take a look at some of these parts. Here's your interior tub. This does have quite a bit of flash on it, as per usual with AMT kits. I shouldn't be bashing them. They are pretty decent kits, but sometimes you just have to scratch your head. Here's your cab. Now this doesn't have a whole lot of stuff on it that you need to touch up, just down here at the bottom in the usual spots. It's a little rough up here on the front end, but that's easy to fix. Has a separate box. Now this does have quite a bit of stuff to clean up on it. I don't see any swirling in the plastic or anything like that. Oh no, wait. There is a little bit right back here, but that's not a big deal. When I first pulled this out of the box, the interior tub and the pickup box was all attached with the chassis on the bottom of it, and I thought, oh crap, it's all one piece body. But I pulled it apart. Yeah, okay, it's a two-piece body. That's going to be nice to be able to get out in there and paint it decently. Next up is your chassis. Now I did already clean up a little bit of spots on it. It wasn't bad, and I see that there's a little bit more that needs to be touched up, but overall it's not too bad. All things considered. On your first parts tree is your hood and tailgate, and in your dash there's a little bit of flash there that needs to be taken care of. So yeah, it does need a little cleanup, but it's not as bad as some I've seen. Spare tire and exhaust system. Here's a kind of a mixture of your suspension and front and optional. Well, I guess no, it's not an optional bumper. That's the rear bumper. It might be an optional bumper. I'll have to look at the chrome tree. But it's got a tube rear bumper. That's kind of unique. And the, what did they call that back in the day? The X-frame front suspension. I forget what they called it exactly. Twin I-beam. That's what it was. It was twin I-beam front suspension. Ford was famous for that way back in the early 60s, maybe even before that. So here's your engine and under the hood components. Next up is your chrome tree. Okay, I'm not sure what this piece is. Is that a... I don't know. I'd take a guess. Maybe some kind of push bumper? I don't know. That's weird. Okay. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Of course, the standard Lightning wheels, all the holes are open on them. So that's nice. Chrome mirrors. It comes with 4 hollow tires. They got a decent tread on them, but they are hollow and they're kind of soft. And they're unbranded. They are a little bit, I don't know, the inside of them is kind of a little messed up, like they cut them from the tree, but they didn't do a real neat job on it. sometimes that can make the wheels sit a little funny. So I'll make sure that those sit, you know, these kind of problems are in the back where you can't see them when I put it together. So that's the 4 tires. Up next is your decal sheet, and it's kind of small. So it gives you your Lightning decals, a couple different license plates. Yeah, something that you might want to put on like a display stand, or if you want to make this into a work truck, or you're displaying a custom rod shop or something like that. Yeah, got decals for that too. Let me put these back in a little plastic baggie so I don't lose them or have them get damaged. Up next is your cab glass and headlights, driving lights, tail lights, headlights, all the lights. What is that? Is that supposed to be like some kind of visor for the cab? Maybe. And then your red tail lights there. And as per usual, don't open that until I need it. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed or not. Every once in a while I screw up, and I call this the decal sheet. And I don't know why I do that. It just slips out, and sometimes I catch it and sometimes I don't, and I try to edit it out of the video. This is not a decal sheet, obviously. This is your instruction sheet on how to put this beast together. So at least they give you some pretty good directions in here. I don't see any recommendations for paint colors in this part of it. They usually do have them in there somewhere. Let's flip this around here a little bit, see if we can come up with something. No, I'm not seeing anything. That's kind of unusual. Did I miss it somehow? Let's unfold it totally. Oh, no, here it is. This does give some paint directions, but I don't see any on the other. Well, here. There's not a big guide to paint colors, but I did happen to do a little research for this truck, and to find out what the exterior colors were and how many of them were built in that color. Got your engine specs there. 0 to 60 in 7.6 seconds. Estimate EPA is 12 in the city and 17 on the highway. Some of your interior options and colors. So I did do a little research on this. I'm not sure if I'm going to follow this. I kind of want to, but the beauty of building model kits is you can do any color that your heart desires. So even though these come in black, red, white, blue, 2 different blues, and a couple of different reds, actually. A crimson clear coat is still red, just a different shade of red. So depending on the year, this one here being the 94, it only came in black, red, white, and that was your color options for that particular year. So I might go with one of those. I might do something different. I am not sure at this point, but we'll figure it out as we go. So let me get some cleanup on the body and some sub-assemblies done, and clean up some of this flash. There's not a whole bunch there, but there is a little. And we'll get over to the paint booth and get some primer laid down and go from there. So I'll see you at the paint booth. Alright fellas, you saw all of the cleanup I had to do and all the prep. Now let's get over to the paint booth and throw some primer. Alright fellas, got to the tire and wheel section. I have already sanded the tires, so those are good to go. But I went to take the wheels off the chrome tree. See anything odd? One of these rims don't look like the others. Yeah, that's damaged right out of the mold, and significantly so. I could try to correct that, but it would never look right. That yeah, that's pretty significantly messed up. So I dug through the parts box, and here's what I came up with as a solution. I don't remember what kit these came out of. I'm wanting to say the 70 Super B, but I'm not sure. These are pretty common chrome wheels. They were in a lot of different kits, so I don't remember where they came from, but these fit the tires. The only problem is when you look at the wheel backs, or the back side of the wheels, you can see that these are kind of concave a little bit, and the wheel backs lock into them. Well, I lost that. I'll find it. The wheel back on this doesn't exactly fit quite right. So something has got to give. So let me work on that. Sorry, the camera cut out. My camera mount had broke, and for some reason when it snapped, it caused the camera to shut off. But anyway, like I was saying, I'm gonna have to try to, I don't know, I don't really have the room to sand that down. This will mount flush and still allow the centerpiece to turn, but I'm not sure how it's going to fit inside the tire. Let's test fit that real quick. Yeah, that seems like it'll work all right. So I'll do that. Oh, the crazy things we have to do sometimes. All right, let's get on with these wheels, tires. I got the interior to do. The engine is, I'm beyond the engine step, but I'm still waiting for some touch-up painting to dry. But that's done, and I still have the interior to do. So, all right. I figured out, so I've already got one put together. I figured out how I'm going to do this. If you take a look at this little raised section right here, that kind of matches up with the raised section on this wheel. So what I'm going to do is, of course, I got to scrape the paint and the chrome off of this. I'll insert the little button there, and very sparingly with the glue, put just enough on there to make sure that it's going to stick, and the wheel will pop right over, or the tire, I should say, will pop right over the wheel easily. This still is able to move and spin. So just glue them together, let that glue set up a little bit. Just pop the tire right over top of it. Problem solved. It's a shame that the manufacturers and their lack of quality control has kind of led to this, but you know, they produce thousands of these kits every week, month, whatever, and one part slipping through occasionally is one thing. I think it's more prevalent now than it ever used to be. My mom, when I was a child, used to work for MPC when they were in Mount Clemens, Michigan, and she ran the molds and produced model kits. That she was a mold operator, and we used to get, I don't know if she paid for them or if we got them for free, but my brother and I used to get model kits all the time, and that's how I got my start. Or should I say, more to the point, that's when I got my start, is when she worked there. So it was kind of cool. My favorite kit that they did back then was the 1937 cord. Yeah, I think it was a. It wasn't a 24th scale. I want to say it was a 16th scale. 16th or maybe an 8th scale. It was a pretty large car if I can recall correctly, but again, I was only like maybe 6 or 7 years old, and my brother had to help me put it together, and because, you know, I was just getting started. He was a bit older than I, so he had more experience than I did putting model cars together. Got an ant on my desk. Where'd that come from? Yeah. He played dead. Now he is dead. Anyway. That's sick. He was, yeah, I think he's about 10 years older than me. And so he had a bit more experience building models than I did. He was more into the aircraft than I. I've always been a car guy, kind of a gearhead, I guess you could say. And I always have been. When I got older, started collecting the full-size cars. And at one point, I had like 9 cars sitting in my driveway. I've slowly managed to dwindle that down. I still have my little project car from that I started back in 1995, and it's still going. I haven't driven it in a couple of years. I have to go back through the transmission. When I built it, I screwed up and put a paper gasket on the trans pan and hadn't realized that the transmission fluid had leaked out through that paper gasket, and was driving home from work one day with it, and suddenly I no longer had second gear. And pulled off and realized at that point, which was too late already, that I was driving with not, an insufficient amount of transmission fluid in the transmission. So I messed up the band in the transmission, and I need to go back and replace all of that. It's a shame too, because I put a lot of money in that transmission. It's not exactly stock. I built it in my garage when I was still in the Navy, when I was stationed in Norfolk, Virginia. So when I went through that transmission, I put all competition clutches and steels in it, B&M shift kit. Yeah. Now the car sits because I no longer have a garage. Since I retired and moved up here and bought my property, should have bought property that had a garage or a pole barn on it, but I didn't. But such is life. And I'm getting sufficiently old enough that I don't feel like crawling underneath the car any longer. Just doing oil changes is taxing enough. Nope. So as you can see here, I'm scraping off all of the paint and chrome so I have a good adhesion between the plastics. That's what you're supposed to do with this kind of glue. Some people say, well, you should use super glue. And I've said this before in other videos, I don't like using super glue because I'm not as careful as I should be with it, and I have glued my fingers together accidentally in the past. That, and I find that it fogs the chrome if you try to use it on chrome. So it doesn't take much to scrape that chrome off the surface. Okay. As you can see, those tires just pop right on there. Just like that. Alright, my tires are all set to go. I got little sparklies all over my hands. But that part is done. So let's get on to the interior. I think that's what's coming up next anyway. And I'm thinking, now that I have to change the wheels to those, this isn't really going to be a full-on Lightning pickup. So let me build it kind of like if some guy had a regular old F-150 and he wanted to build a, what do you call that? A sleeper F-150, a faux Lightning. I don't know what you would call that. But it'll be a Lightning under the skin. On the exterior, it'll look just like any other F-150 pickup. So that will save me from having to strip the chrome off of the grill. I can just go with the straight regular chrome grill. And yeah, we can do that. Alright, on to the next step. All right, fellas, back a few years ago, I bought this kit. I don't remember how much I spent on it, $20, $25, something like that. And it's made by Jacquard, and it's called Pearl X. Inside each one of these little containers is little pigments. And this one here is called Micro Pearl. And I'm mixing that with a little bit of my Pledge Floor Gloss. And I'm going to be applying that to the body here in just a minute. But if you look at the labels, the labels on these things are real tiny. And so I went and put little pieces of tape on all of them and wrote down what's inside of each container. So you can see by all of that, there's quite a few different metal flake additives you can put in your paint or your clears, and you know, all kinds of different stuff. They have some in here that's color shifting, and you can just add that, like I said, to your paint, or more to the point, to your clear coat. And I'm going to be doing a little micro pearl on the body. So this is only the third or fourth time I've ever used this stuff, and I've had it for years. Pretty close to about 20 years I've had this set, and I've only used it 3 or 4 times, maybe 5 times over this time, over all these years. So we're going to put it on this truck. It's going to be totally experimental. I have not tested it in any way, and we're just going to see how it turns out. Hopefully, with any luck, it'll be perfect. So let me get everything set up here and we'll get started. Okay, my apologies. I had to switch cameras because the other one was going dead. So hopefully this shows up pretty good for you. I'm getting ready to upgrade the lighting in my paint booth. I just have been too busy to get to it. But that's on my list of things to do. And, well, let's get started putting this clear with the micro pearl mixed in with it. As I said, I don't know how this is going to turn out, but we're going to give it a shot. Alright fellas, I'm done. I got my airbrush cleaned up and everything. This is set for just a little bit, and I know it doesn't show up very well in this video clip, but adding that micro pearl to the clear has taken that regular gloss color shot paint and given it a kind of a pearlescent metallic look to the paint, and it's got a really super nice shine to it, and it worked out really well. I can't imagine what using some of that color shift, the color shifting Pearl X in a clear like that. I can't imagine how that would look when, you know, you apply it to something like this. So yeah, I'm ready to do the final assembly on this truck. I've got pretty much everything to go, you know, ready to go, with the exception of what you just saw me do. I do have to do a little bit of bare metal foil to the cab of the truck. Thankfully, there's not a whole bunch to do on it. And then I got some decals to put on it, and we'll be ready for the final assembly. So, I'll see you there. Welcome to the final on the 1994 Ford F150 SVT Lightning pickup from AMT. This kit was purchased sometime around the first of the year, and I finally decided to get it put together and break that string of General Motors vehicles I was working on. Whew. Overall, this truck went together without any issues. There was minimal amount of pre-paint work like flash removal or mold line removal. There was a little bit, but not a whole bunch. This truck went together so easily, it was just unreal. When I pulled the chrome tree out of the box, I discovered that one of the wheels was crushed at the factory somehow after the chroming process. So I don't know how that transpired, but the wheels were useless. So I had to come up with alternative wheels for this build. I'm not sure where I got those from. It was possibly from that 70 Super Beat kit that I built a few months ago. But in any case, these wheels have been included in several different model kits. They're a pretty popular wheel. But anybody that follows me on Facebook, you would have already known what was up with that, because I did post on Facebook, hey, look, these wheels were smashed, and what do you think about these as alternatives? And for those of you who gave me feedback on that post, thank you. I appreciate that that boost, that help. And I went ahead and went with those wheels like you guys told me would look better. So, in a twist on this subject, I decided to go with the chrome grille and mirrors instead of painting them the same color as the body. I know the traditional Lightning pickups, the grille was painted the body color. This one here, I decided to go with all the chrome. And speaking about the paint, that mixture of the micro pearl into the future floor polish worked out terrifically. For those of you who are wondering about that micro pearl powder, wow, words, I'll leave a link in the description box below where you can go and research that. You can find it on Amazon through a search on Amazon, but if you want to know the details of the product, just follow the link in the description box below. You can still buy the 32 box like I have, but I purchased mine like 20 years ago, so the prices have gone up quite a bit since I purchased that box. But they're still available, and you can buy smaller quantities as well. You don't have to buy the 32 count box. You can buy them in I think the lowest count, you might be able to get it as a single bottle or a box of like 6 or 9, something like that. Go ahead and research that, and good luck. Now, I thought about this build a bit when I discovered that I had to change out the wheels. And I decided that this truck would become a poor man's Lightning pickup. So like the guy that drives his truck, he really couldn't come up with the extra cash to buy an actual Lightning. So he invested a few bucks in decals and some aftermarket rims. And one day he was out touring the junkyard and he found a crashed Lightning pickup out there. So he decided to grab all the chrome goodies off the top of the engine and bring it home and install it on his truck. Now he drives around enjoying the looks he gets from, Ford Lightning fans. Of course, if they really knew that it was a faux Lightning, they wouldn't be smiling and waving at him. Well, maybe they would just admire his ingenuity and enjoy the truck anyway. Well, this build is done, and I hope that you guys enjoyed the build video. If you did, go ahead and click that thumbs up button. It helps the YouTube algorithm to share my channel, which helps my channel grow. If you have any questions or comments, please write those in the comment section below, and I'll be happy to respond as soon as possible. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, or you can drop me a line at scaleautoguy@gmail.com. If you want more videos like this one, make sure to hit that subscribe button below, as well as the little bell icon, so that you're notified of my upcoming videos. Thanks for watching Scale Auto Guy's Workbench, and I'll see you on the next build.